Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Dr. Pluring's Electrical Electronics Laboratorium. Recently my contract for fixed electricity, price of fixed electricity, for fixed electricity price, i.e. the price per kilowatt hour, I had fixed to about 35 öre per kilowatt hour. That ran out here at when the months switched from October to November, and I decided to go with the hour-by-hour billing and rating, since I figured that's the only way that I can at least influence what I will actually have to pay at the end of the month or every month. You could also, I'm so goddamn upset about our fucking incompetent politicians that due to their actions, we are now 6 nuclear reactors short here in the south of the country for what the system is designed for, and that is only due to political decisions and so on. But and if we wouldn't have that, then this thing, that would probably be down here somewhere. Yeah. And also if we cut the goddamn cables to fucking Germany and all the other irresponsible fucks who can't build a decent energy production system and turn off the nuclear power for wind power, which is what we're doing as well. This is what you get. Price of electricity fluctuates quite a bit here. So during the night here, it hasn't been windy lately, so it's still pretty damn high. It's reasonable in the middle of the night. Today we didn't have too bad of a spike, 110 öre per kilowatt hour, but this can go to like 170 and so on. So what you can do here, I have two major users of power, and it's this thing, the heat pump, and it's this thing, hot water heater, and this is basically a thermos flask, you know. This heats water and it's pretty well insulated, and whatever isn't caught by the insulation goes into the house in either case, so it doesn't really matter. And I figure there's absolutely no reason to run this when the price is like 3-4 times higher than it is at the cheapest, right? I need to be able to control this from my home assistant instance. How I'm doing it currently here is manually via this switch. Bonk. There you go. Now we're drawing about see, what is it? What do you say here? That a Norwegian piece of crap. 1 kilowatt, yes, but that's if you connect it on one phase. This is connected on 2 phases, so 2 kilowatts at the very least. I think it's even more. I think it's almost close to 3 kilowatts this actually uses. But I see no reason, since the price is usually the highest in the morning and in the evening. So if I go up, if I have my shower when I go out of bed and so on, I mean, there is no reason for this to kick on and heat that water back up just then, because I'm not going to need all this hot water until much later. So first of all, as I said, this thing is connected on 2 phases, but I believe, I've not looked in here before, and this is a certified electrician who has made this, and I would think that he has cheated a bit and not used the proper cable here. No, he has used a regular 1-phase cable, so he's using the neutral for one phase and black for the other one. And look at this, how much unnecessary insulation is stripped off there. And this is supposed to be a certified electrician that has done this. Complete fucking mess is what this is. Look at this. Oh God. Yeah. Right, anyway. So yeah, that is what that looks like, and that is what I figured it would look like. And also this one that goes to the water heater is also cheated. But I think that is all right to do it that way. This is probably also all right and up to code to use it like this. But Problem is, I'm going to set a relay in here, or a contactor, really, a contactor that can break both these when the price of electricity is unnecessarily high. Which is almost always is, unless the wind is blowing a lot and the temperature isn't too low. So here, a contactor. I'm going to go with a normally closed contactor. So I will have to actively do something for this to turn off, and if all my home automations fail and everything, this will just work as normally, as regularly. So it will be an act of acting to have it not run. That's the way I figured I'd do it. The logic might feel inverted to some people, but I felt it made sense under the circumstances, as you never know with this. All these complicated systems here. Just a moment, I'm going to reattach the screws. Yeah, I'm allowed to open this, even though I am not a certified electrician. I'm also allowed to repair it and so on, but I'm not allowed to make modifications or such to it. But since I'm going to run a contactor here, then I'm going to need a neutral wire, and I currently don't have neutral in here. So an electrician will have to come out and replace this lead with one that has another lead in it. Or you could, this one had a ground wire, and it also had a wound thing. So you could cheat even more, I suppose, and use the ground wire as the neutral. That really can't be up to code. Yeah, I'll have to inquire to the electrician about that. But I would think, and I would feel best having a cable here with at least 4 conductors. One for phase 1, one for phase 2, one for neutral, and one for ground. So this obviously doesn't need neutral now, since it runs on 2 phases. But the switching gear I'll have here, the contactor, and also some way of turning the contactor on and off, that will certainly require a neutral for it to be operational. So yeah, that is where we are here. Let me go to see you. We see each other at the laboratory. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the laboratory. Excuse all the noise that is going on and so on. I'm not in the mood for doing external microphones and everything, and syncing up stuff for this one, since it will be recorded in many parts and it will be a lot of hassle. I have this. I have a few options for accomplishing this. I have this. This is the contactor that I was speaking of. So normally closed, and you apply 230 volts between there and there, and when you do that, these two, there and there, open or break the connection. And maybe I'm not sure about this. As I said, I'm not an electrician, but this one is rated for 10 amps, and that is what the water heater says that it will do. And it ought to be enough, it must be enough to only break one of the lives going into the water heater, right? So you could probably do it with just this one and skip the contactor. But since it is quite large currents going on and everything, I feel that we should have the contactor in between. So what this will do is to be able to speak to Home Assistant and turn the contactor on and off, basically, and thereby turning the water heater on and off according to the price of electricity and according to a lot of other parameters. The alternative to using this would be to cobble together something myself with an ESPH 266 or similar and a little relay board. I could do that, but again, we're dealing with one of the house's most important pieces of infrastructure, really. So I'm thinking I'll go with this one. This is pretty expensive, this one, but seems to be a really good product. I have 2 of these. I haven't used any of them yet, It has power metering built in, which I won't have any use for because the only power I'll be able to measure is how much the contactor draws, which isn't a lot. Hopefully, it should not be a lot. It won't be a lot. So yeah, but it of course needs a neutral, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't see how they'd run this without having a neutral connected to it as well. But yeah, and then this will connect via Wi-Fi to Home Assistant, and that's that. Maybe. So something like so. A bit of wiring, a bit of neutral coming in from the thing. I figure I'll prepare this as much as I can, wire all this up, and so on, and then call the electrician to say, hey, mate, you need to come and change out the cable that one of your, don't think it's a colleague, but one of your competitors made an installation of here about 14-15 years ago, which is quite fucking rubbish of an installation. But anyway, you'll have to work on that, and you'll have to sign off on it as well, since you're doing the work on it. But I'll prepare this one. I'm allowed to wire this up, I believe. Although this will be an installation. Am I really allowed to do that? I'm assuming I'm allowed to do this since I know how to do it. I mount it to the wall and everything, and prepare as much as possible, so that all the electrician needs to do is really to come in and remove the cover off the main electrical box thing, change out the cable that we saw earlier, and then hook this up and hook the electrical heater, the water heater, up to the other end of it. And then I should be able to automatically, or at least by the press of a button inside Home Assistant, turn my water heater on and off. And there is so much you can do. I've been thinking about this now for a few weeks, how to actually optimize both the use of the heat pump and the water heater. It's not completely straightforward when to run the water heater and when to crank the heat pump up. I mean, it seems obvious if the price of electricity goes down during the night and then turns very expensive in the morning hours. Then you crank the heat pump at the early morning hours before the price rises a lot, and then as the price rises, you shut it down or leave it on circulation mode only. Well, you turn the temperature down to such a stage that's what it does. It doesn't run the compressor. But I've still not been able to quite wrap my head around how to do that in Home Assistant. That's for later. For now, if I can turn the water heater on and off with the push of a button inside Home Assistant without needing to go downstairs and flick the button, or if I am already downstairs, go inside the cupboard and flick the button, and then maybe forget about it and not be able to have a warm shower in the morning or do the dishes or whatever. And whilst we're here, there's one more thing. This is already sort of prepared for a little bit, although this is from a different project when I was curing tobacco in the sauna. This is the electrical box for a regular electrical radiator on the wall, which has an ESP32 in it and 2 relays. I don't need all of those anymore. I just need one relay, the microcontroller, and this. And I basically only actually run one electrical radiator nowadays, and that's the one in the bedroom, because the heat from the heat pump doesn't quite make it there. So it's nice to have that. And I figure if I make my way behind the bed there and everything, I need to move the bed out of the way and modify this a bit, take out the redundant parts of it, possibly make it a little bit safer, and also modify it a little bit, since the power as it is right now coming into it comes in from one of these. It will come in from the back here, rather from the wall, but then I'll be able to switch also that radiator on and off and turn it on in the evening, preferably an hour or so before going to bed, depending on the price of electricity and also depending on the temperature outdoors. I already have actually to this one one of these over here, DHT22s. So I'll be able to know how the temperature and humidity in my bedroom. Could be nice to know if I leave that intact. But to remove one of these relays, tidy it up a bit, and so on. And then I should be able to switch that too. So that's that then for now. I already can control the heat pump through Home Assistant more or less. Most of the functions I can control enough to have this to have it sort of yeah. There's quite a bit of automation. Yes, automation remains to be done, a lot of it, to not have to go in and keep track of this. I've been at this now with the hourly rate for about 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks, 1 week, 1.5 weeks. This is stressing me out, I can tell you, to try and optimize your energy costs. Yes, indeed. Fucking assholes, why would you turn off fully functioning nuclear reactors that had like 40 years of commercial life left in them? Pieces of fucking shit. Should be tarred and feathered and hanged and burned at the stake for causing such incredible damage to our society as a whole. I mean, the cost for this is just immeasurable. And then that we have the price here is so goddamn high, and we have export cables running all under the Baltic and down to Germany, and we have the Norwegians are connected to Scotland, and the Norwegians are also connected to the Netherlands. And every time I look at that map, it only goes one way. We're pushing as much power as possible through those cables. We're saturating those cables, and only when we do that, if we still have a bit of production remaining here, then our price will go down. That's fucking bullshit, is what that is. And then when we don't have enough production and we need to import, the price is so goddamn high that it's just silly. Because it turns out that when the wind isn't blowing here, the wind isn't blowing in Germany or the Netherlands a whole lot neither. Maybe a little bit in the Netherlands, the wind seems to always be blowing there considering how flat it is. I digress. And I get depressed when I think about how the incredible value that was destroyed by forcing the nuclear reactors offline way ahead of their commercial lifespan. I think that 1 or 2 of the ones that were shut down was actually, yeah, we can keep it running, but it may not be economically completely feasible to do so. But that will still leave us with 4. But the system is designed to have 12 reactors here in the south in order to balance and also be able to transfer all the power from the hydro and nowadays all the wind that is up north. But we need the power down here to be able to utilize the transferring power. Yeah, fucking hell, this is goddamn annoying, to say the very least. Anyway, Dr. Pluvian will be back here when he has wired this and when he is ready to call the electrician, maybe. I think we'll come back when I have this wired up and just see where we're at with everything. And after I've talked to an electrician. There you go. To be continued. Well, yeah, I'm continuing working here a little bit on the contactor for the water heater thing. So first of all, I thought I'd check out if the contactor is actually working. Well, I have an old lamp cable, I think it is, with a switch on it. So it's hooked up like so to hopefully the coil there. And yes, contactor appears to be working. Clunk, clunk. Solid. And it is not humming noticeably. Listen. There it is off, i.e. there is continuity through it. I'd say that is a silent contactor. Except for when it's actually doing its business action thing. Right, next order of business would be this one then. We'll see how that goes. It seems to be doing something. It's blinking. See if I can get this thing adopted or however it works. Right then, so here we are. I've added an inverted switch into Home Assistant, and I've adopted the Shelly plug thing. Pretty good, pretty exemplary, almost all of it. One thing to be aware of though is that when you connect to its default Wi-Fi here, where you enter your SSID and your encryption key for your actual network, that is done over clear text. So if the authorities are outside and listening in, they will be able to pick up your passphrase for your Wi-Fi. So there we go. It's adopted and everything. See, and the water heater is on, i.e. the contactor is closed. So if I click this, then clonk. Yeah, indeed, clonk, clonk, clonk. Great. Wonder how much then power this thing uses to hold the contactor open. One moment here. There you go. There you go, maybe. There you go. Yeah, 1.6 watts or thereabouts to hold the contactor open. I suppose that's reasonable. I also wonder if it's actually counting the power that the thing itself draws. That must be quite negligible, because it is not. It's been on for a while now here, whilst I was arguing with Home Assistant configuration and syntax, and it's not even slightly warm to the touch. So there you go. Now only to install this into here in a more permanent manner, screw it down to the wall, and then call the electrician. Exhausting. Pardon the French. It's so exhausting to have electricians around, but it's finally done and gone. Both of them. Yes. Couldn't even tell that anyone's been in here, but now there's an actual 3-phase wire going there that has a neutral and a ground, and a third phase which is just apparently supposed to hang loose in there. Hang loose in there as well. And the water heater is currently, the main power to it is on, but it is off. The contactor is on or off. There is no continuity through the contactor for the moment anyway. See here if it actually works or not. It should be the same as it was on the test bench. But 750 watts I'm currently using. Okay. Clonk, water heater. There you go. Now we're using a bit more. Yes, these stupid Norwegians who made this water heater. Here, you say that this 1 kilowatt. Sure. Yes, at 230 volts, but it is connected at 2 phases. So, and it is more than 2 kilowatts. It is like, it's 3 basically, isn't it? Turn it off again. Right, yeah. It's basically 3 kilowatts. Yeah, 10 Norwegians. But anyway, there you go. That has been Dr. Pluding with his, with his now Home Assistant control of a water heater. He just now also needs to do a little bit of work here to actually tie these things together with intelligence and such. Yes, lots of fun. Yes, that will be a different day, I can tell you very much. It's now telling us that it's low price of electricity for the moment. Yes, it is only 28,84 öre. Very cheap. The price for the electricity may only be that, but the price to get it out of my wall socket is 1,276 öre per kilowatt hours. Rip off. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.